Very much. How was the weekend?
The weekend was good, teacher. This weekend, the last weekend, I think that I didn't do something special, but it was good. And yours?
It was great. Thank you very much. Yesterday I went to a show called Illusion of the Eyes in Leon. What a
In the
show!
fair?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Have you seen it or have you heard of it?
I heard of the show. Actually, I went to the fair two times the last weekend, the last week,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
and and it's great. There are so many different things to do there, and it's great. But I haven't attended to the show.
It's just amazing. It's unbelievable. There are skaters that skate like true professionals. Well, they are professionals, but not only that, the artistry that they perform is just unbelievable. Truly, truly amazing. I recommend that if you go again, try to hit that show, Mickey, because it's just fabulous. I was impressed. Very,
Thank you,
very
teacher.
impressed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I go tomorrow with my family,
Mm.
and actually we were trying to arrange the different shows because I saw a show that is of Mickey Mouse. It's
Oh,
just 30 minute show and it's more for for children, but what's good was in the Foro del Lago, near
okay.
from the fair, and tomorrow I think that we go first to the. I think that the show is of the Coco movie. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I think that at six or at 8 is the show that you mentioned, and yeah, I think that we're gonna go tomorrow to that show too.
I believe there are two plays. One is at 6 and one at 8.
Yeah,
Check the schedule. But if you can go, I'd strongly recommend that you will not regret it. You're gonna enjoy it. And if you go with the family, much better. They're gonna love it. Absolutely love it. It's just fabulous.
yeah. Well, tomorrow. Let's see tomorrow. Thank you,
Okay,
teacher.
hopefully, hopefully. All right, Mickey. Well, I was precisely because of the show the other day, yesterday. There were some numbers of the show in
Mm-hmm.
which the skaters were wearing outfits, but they were just lights. And then the programmer made them look like if they were ghosts or Martian or something from aliens, like aliens from another space. It was just an amazing show. And I kept thinking, if one day robots will take over humans, I don't know. What do you think about that idea, Mickey? Will one day robots take over humans? So that is just a baseless fear. It has no sound. It's no sound. It's baseless. It's a fear that is unnecessary, and that will never happen. What do you think?
Hmm. Well, I don't know. I think that there are always possibilities. I think that at the end, everything depends on the people who create that technology, and I think that they always needs to control the technology. I think that uh, if it is not controlled, probably in the future, uh, I would say that yeah, it is possible. We have seen cases where humans are a little bit, well, are repressible in a way. So I think that if we don't control technology and the velocity in which the technology is developing, I think that it's something that could occur. But I don't know.
All right. Well, for example, one of the main concerns is the one referring to job automation and employment. It's exactly what you said. Um, which jobs can be automated and consequently the employment can go down, and which jobs are difficult to automate? So which jobs are easy to automate in your opinion, Mickey?
Mm, well, I think that jobs that are easy to automate are the jobs that normally are in the industries.
Okay.
Probably there are people who's checking that the machines are working right, and uh, I think that all those processes could be automatized by robots. So yeah, could be one.
Processes, right?
Yeah, the processes, industrial
Industrial
processes.
processes can be automated, or as you correctly say, also automatized. Either way, that is dangerous for in a way, it can be dangerous for men. What are the alternatives? what is going to happen with the employment of people? Do you think that's going to reduce the employment and create more unemployment? Or what's going to happen? What can happen? What is the hazard or the risks?
Um, well, yeah, of course, I think that that could lead to unemployment. I think that the employees that will be available, I think that people needs to be more prepared to have those employees, and probably it will be difficult to get a job if you're not enough prepared. I think so.
Okay, yeah, that is totally correct. How about the ethical concerns? Do you think that plays a role, or ethical considerations are just non-impactful? They don't impact at all. They say, well, that yeah, but that's ethics. That's not important. Sometimes we say, well, this is bad. Is throwing the water to pollute the soil, polluting the air, polluting this is well, yeah, that's bad, but who cares? Let's just continue. So when you say ethical concerns, is that a strong statement, or well, okay, ethical, but who cares? What do you think about this expression or this statement?
Um, well, I think that it can be impactful because, uh, as we have seen in the last years, the way in how technology is improving uh, is incredibly fast, and I think that in occasions it can be difficult to control and manage all this technology, and we have seen cases where humans are so replaceable, and I think that it is important to have these ethical concerns because I think that if it's not controlled, it can lead to a to a disaster for for humans in general.
Yeah, that is totally true. There is a concept which is called human augmentation. That is a very interesting concept. Human augmentation. Um, it says that advanced technology can provoke human capabilities to augment, and that rather than be replaced. So if a machine is doing something that you used to do, something very routinary, that
Mhm.
leads you or motivates you or impulses you or forces me or forces us to improve our skills, our capacities, and do something that the machines cannot do. It's kind of like a competition. Okay, the
Mhm.
computers can do this. Well, the artificial intelligence can do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna develop these new talents. Uh, what do you think about that, Mickey?
Well, yeah, of course. We can see it now in the actuality. We need to be year. Uh, how can I say it? Um, yeah, we need to be more prepared in different skills. I think that in the actuality is not only necessary one skill. We need to develop so many skills as possible, and and I think it's something good. But at the end, I think that it's something difficult because probably not all people can develop those skills. And for example, the case with my mom, I think that my mom probably it's a little bit disconnected with the technology in general, and and now for her could be difficult to get a job that that requires to use that technology. And I know that there are so many people that don't have probably a computer in their house or internet, and it is good for the people who have the access to that, but at the end I think that um, it's not good for all the people, I think so.
Right. I have a personal feeling against this expression of human augmentation. Yeah, well, the machines are doing better. Well, you do better. So
Hmm.
that doesn't give me a nice feeling, honestly. And I share this with you very privately. When you start to compete against a robot, it almost looks unfair, right? Well, I'm gonna now the robots are taking over our jobs, so I need to compete against a robot, right? And I need to prove that I'm better or faster or stronger or smarter or more creative, or that I work longer hours, or eventually that it is cheaper to pay a man than to develop and invest all this technology and pay a robot. That gives me a strange feeling of uneasiness. But that's
Yeah,
me. I don't know. What do you think about this, Mickey? That you compete against a robot?
yeah, of course, it's completely unfair. I think so. For example, something so simple. How long takes to a normal normal person to read a book, and how many books a computer can just download in seconds, and know the information just in, in seconds, and it's impossible to compete to a machine because the machines uh, are faster, are have more storage in general,
Yeah,
and yeah, it is impossible. And I think that it's unfair that because I have seen so many courses on internet that developing this, developing this, developing this. Almost every month,
right.
there are new courses to acquire new skills, but uh, when's gonna be enough?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So it looks like we are being trained. It looks like that, right? We are being trained to be used in a way. It sounds ugly. I know that it sounds ugly, but at
Yeah.
the end, uh, what is the alternative? How can we grow and develop as a person? How can we say, I am growing as a human being, not just acquiring more skills, more talents that are going to serve a specific purpose that's going to do someone happy? Maybe I get happy by doing my job. Maybe I learned how to program various platforms. I learned how to be useful for someone or for an industry. But in what point do I grow as a person? That's a complex question. But what do you think, Mickey? What's your personal opinion?
Yeah, it's a difficult question because um, I think that we are prepared in the school, and in general in the life, in work, to be useful, and I think that we just focus on that, and we don't focus on the things that make us at the end humans, and yeah, they they want us like, well, the big corporations want us like machines, but it is difficult, and I think that there must be a balance, and not so many companies give that balance to the employees.
That's a fantastic comment. We need a balance. How do we attain this balance? Of course, it's very easy to make the questions, right? How do we do this? How we do that? How do we do this?
Yeah.
But how do we attain a balance in developing as a useful person and growing as a person in your individual likes and tastes? Maybe you like music, maybe you like sports, maybe you like cooking, maybe I don't know, you have personal likes, right, that
Mhm.
you want to develop as a person, and that is totally valid. So how do we attain this balance? That's a good question.
Yeah, I think that um, enterprises, I think that they must be uh, open up to new ideas. I have seen cases, and obviously there are just few cases where enterprises really focuses on their employees, on their people. One famous example is, for example, Google.
Right.
They have different activities, and the way in how they manage their companies, it's amazing. At least in the point of view that that they show us that they have like free time, they can take, they can play, they can do different activities that are not just related to work, because at the end they know that if they give the value to their employees, the employees will. I think that they will. The employees will give value to the company. So I think that one solution could be that the enterprises really focuses on their people.
Okay, that sounds very fair and sounds really nice, and they will give value to the company. How is that? You were saying that they give you free time to play, or you can relax. How is that exactly, Mickey? I haven't. I've heard, but very vaguely, about
Mhm.
these new companies with new strategies and perspectives on how to treat employees, which sounds great. But can you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, for example, in Google, they have. I think that they manage their company with goals. For example, I don't know, you go to work every day 8 hours per day, but if you finish your work of the day in 2 hours, well, the rest of the time you are free and you can do other activity or you can do something that relaxes you. I think that in the same company, they have recreational spaces. They can take a nap, they can play, they can they can distract themselves, and actually they have psychologists too. In occasions, I think that it's something that in companies they don't really take a lot of attention, and is the mental health. And in Google, I think that they have psychologists available to employees in the moment that they require. And and in general, the company is like I think that there are not so many walls. The majority are windows, and the purpose of that is that they can see outside and outside of the company. At least the company located at Silicon Valley is around of nature, and they can do activities outside of the company itself. And I think that those activities will help to the people to feel part of the company. And at the end, when you feel part of something, I think that uh, you work in a better way because it represents you and you want to give value to the company.
Well, that sounds really nice. And if that is the case, it should be a novel company with new strategies and obviously trying to make you feel that you belong to the group, that you belong to the factory is a very important and nurturing feeling. And that is truly nice, Mickey. And that is in
Yeah.
Google, right?
In Google.
How would other companies adopt these Google's practices? If other companies emulate Google, how could they do it? How could you emulate Google?
Mm, I would summary really focusing in their people. I think that when you listen to your people, when you know their needs, when you know uh, what makes your people comfortable, um, I think that to have psychologists available, it's so important because um, something that impacts me is that in Mexico, I think that compared to one of the most how can I say stressful countries,
Yeah.
and I think that that was something that mentioned in my masters, that the amount of people who commit suicide per year increased in the last years, and Guanajuato is one of the states that increase in in that metric, and it's something that really impacts me because that means that, well, we know that Guanajuato and El Bajío in general is industrialized in a way, and there are so many companies, industrial companies, and that means that those industrial companies don't care in the mental health of their people, and they receive a lot of stress, and and the and the average age that commit suicide, I think that was between 25 to 35. So that's something that impacts me, and I think that we need to do something as society, and the companies in general must do something.
This comment that you make, Mickey, is impressively important, and that's maybe a thermometer of the status of society in these current times. So I would say it's a thermometer. Not that everything is bad, of course,
No, yeah.
but thermometer. But it shows you that this stress has picking up. Stress has peaked to new heights.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the ability to manage to cope with stress is one of the best abilities in these ages, in these years, right? So the ability to cope with stress. And when I say stress, is not only that you have to release production and then you need to go home by 3 o'clock in the morning and then come back at 7 the next day, which is pretty bad, by the way, but only um, what make people stressful? This is a great question. Let's discuss it for a moment, even if I deviate a moment for a moment of which is related actually. But what make people stress out so much? What makes people stress out so much? That you have seen in companies, work, a lot excess work, um, little time
Mm-hmm.
with the family, maybe that stress me a lot. What else stresses people, Mickey, that you have seen with friends or
Mm-hmm. When people are, um, how can I say it? Mm, well, needs to do something in a specific time.
okay, so time constraints, right?
Mm-hmm.
Time constraints for doing something, right? So you limited time, so that stresses you out. Everyone, right? Um, Little time with the family, excess work. I have seen in the industries in the years that after so many years of working for a company, people start lacking personal purpose and they feel used. So the
Mm-hmm.
company is using me, but I am not growing. I'm just a mechanism in the machinery of the industry.
Yeah.
I, that's a feeling that I have seen in people in the various industries that I have worked. And
Mm-hmm.
that's also something that causes stress. What else, Mickey? And then we see if we can find a solution as we normally do.
um, Probably. mm I think that people normally get stressed when um, they have things that they cannot control, when they don't have the control of something.
Yeah, for example, yeah, that's a good comment. Very true. Which are things that they cannot control?
Well, for example, I imagine a company that one department needs the answer of the other department, but meanwhile, the first department uh, they are having problems because they need to deliver something and um, they are out of time, probably.
Okay,
So
yeah.
they depends of other department.
Yeah, that is true. And that is incredibly stressful. Production wants to start producing, but purchasing says, "Well, but I have not received the steel. I am still waiting for the copper. The components have not arrived." And production says, "Yeah, but how can I begin to work if there is no material here in the factory?" Well, yeah, but I placed the order, but it has not arrived.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or maybe purchasing says, "Yeah, I need to place the order for the copper to come from Japan or the steel, but engineering has not finished the specification." Well, but it's a project that you can do in 2 weeks. They have 1 month already, or they can do that in 2 days, and they have already a week. And yeah, so stress because you cannot control another area or department. Yeah, that is very common and very true, Mickey.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Um, well, however, some of these jobs pay well. So that leads to another question. That leads us to another question. Can a good income properly compensate for the lack or for the excess work and stress, uh, even to the point of harming your health. What do you think? Or what is a break-even point?
Mm, well, it is something difficult because if your work takes you all your time, the money that you have, you cannot you cannot enjoy your money because you don't have the time enough to to do it. But obviously, uh, it's better that you have a good income in your work that instead that you work the same hours and you receive a bad income. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally true. Totally true. But then, is it possible for you to maintain a good health and also keep a good income and make good money? Or do we always have to sacrifice something, our health, our family time, uh, in order to achieve this income? And that's a situation that many of us have gone through. That you say, well, I need to work, I need to continue producing and bringing more money and money, but then you sacrifice time with the family, you sacrifice sometimes your health, you sacrifice something. So the question is it is it possible to keep your health, see the family, and still make a decent income? Or is it necessary to always sacrifice something?
well, I think that it is possible, but in occasions, I think that it is difficult because uh, you must have a good manage of time, and
Okay.
and you need to manage the different activities that you want to do. But I think that it is possible, but of course, it is not so easy.
Well, but you mentioned a fantastic phrase. You mentioned this topic, which is good time management required.
Yeah.
So people really need to be well organized in order to manage all the pending tasks with job, with the family, and personal time as well, right?
Mhm.
So how would we divide our time in the main um, spheres that we live? Can we say work time, family time, and what else? Sometimes they don't overlap, sometimes they overlap, right? The overlap is in this red area. No, I'm sorry, is the region where they overlap is normally here, right? They overlap. There
Mhm.
is an overlap, there's an overlap here and here. And so let's write the topics. One is your work, this is family, and this is personal time, right? Personal time with friends, personal individual projects. Maybe you want to read, maybe you want to learn how to play an instrument, etc., etc. Um, what is a good management of your time to attend the family, to attend your work, and to attend yourself personally? Because the concept is fantastic. This concept is great. Good time management required. How do you do that in general terms? In general terms, how can a person be so well organized that you devote certain time to work, certain time to family, certain time to personal endeavors or activities, maybe some time to society too? I don't
Mhm.
know. What do you think? How can we do it?
Mm, well, first, I think that the time of work is more or less established. In occasions, probably you need to stay more time because you don't finish something and you need to stay more time. But then having more or less the average of the time that you spent in work, uh, I will give probably I don't know. Let's think 9 to 5 to in time to work,
Okay.
Probably 6 to 8 to the family. I don't know. Eat something, see a movie, and I would say 8 to 10 to do an activity to you. And if you don't have enough time, probably I would recommend that the activity that you do is exercise because you can relax your body of all the stress that you receive in the work.
So exercise as a priority. Exercise.
Yeah, so that's a priority.
Right. And that depends also on the personal likes, right? Maybe you like reading. Well, maybe if you like reading, you devote some time to read. You like doing exercise or doing sports or maybe swimming or
Yeah,
play.
probably just 1 hour of exercise and the other hour do whatever you want to
Okay.
do.
So you would say that that exercising is a priority to maintain good health.
Yeah, of course.
Ah, fantastic. Now, with the family, well, you can do lots of things with the family, right? You can go out, you can chat with them, you can watch a movie together, you can play games with the family, you can read all together, you can tell stories. I mean, there are thousands of activities with the family, right?
Hmm.
And then at work, yeah, that looks like a very nice recommendation. And then the rest is sleep time that you can also call as personal time, right? Or not? Do you consider sleep time as personal, or how do
Yeah,
you?
yeah, I think so.
Yes, right. Sleep time is also personal,
Hmm.
and it is important that it can be at least 7 to 8 hours because some people sleep really little, like 4, 5, 6 hours, which specialists deem that is bad for your health. Sleeping
Hmm.
little time is very bad. One of the most detrimental activities for the brain, for your health, for everything is not sleeping well. So it is important to sleep well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you, Mickey. Let's go back to the topic of humans versus robots, if robots are taking over. Some discussions like existential risks. Let me put this here to read it. Uh, and this is interesting. Let's see if you can read this, Mickey, please. This is um, on existential risks. Existential risks. Let me put it here. This is existential risks. Existential risks. When we talk about robots versus humans,
Yeah.
so let's see if you can please read it. Let me go back here. All right, here is. Where did I put it? Okay, existential risks. Can you read this section, Mickey, please?
Yes, sure. Existential risks. Some discussions touch upon the potential risks of uncontrolled artificial intelligence surpassing human intelligence, leading to scenarios where machines act against human interest. This is often referred to. Can you scroll down just a little bit?
Yeah,
Yeah, this is often referred to as the singularity.
yeah. So you refer to that as the singularity. What is that? Well, the robots, artificial intelligence, is going to lead to scenarios in which machines are acting against your human interests. Which are human interests? What is a human interest?
Mm, human interest. Mm, I don't know. Probably get a good job to
Yeah, get a good job, employment, right? To be employed, to
be
be
employed.
employed. So that's probably the first one in a company, right? You want to work.
Yeah,
Um, what would you rather do? Would you rather work 8 or 10 or 7 or 6 hours? If they gave you the choice, would you rather work more or you rather work less?
obviously, we'd rather work less.
Okay, that's normal,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Human
possible.
would rather less than More. I'd rather work less than more. Of course, that's our interest. Now, how about the income? Would you rather make more money or would you rather make less money?
We would rather do more money,
Rather make more money.
make.
Exactly. So those are the natural human interests, and sometimes robots go against that interest because they make labor cheaper.
Hmm.
And so if robots are if we are building robots to lower the rate, the wage, or the salary of humans, that's going to be terrible because then humans are going to start making less and less and less money. And of course, the owner of the robot would make much more money. But then one person will be extremely, extremely wealthy, right? And lots of people will be very, very, very poor because that's the intention developing robots, right? What do you think about this concept of one very extremely wealthy man and thousands, millions of people being very, very poor?
Yeah, of course, something that normally happens. Uh, People usually work to a to a wealthy man, and the rest of the people is just working, conscious just to survive.
Now, this is a common model which has been under analysis and controversy by many people. I'm not saying that it's totally bad, and I'm not saying that the alternatives are better, but some people see that we fight like using the practice of cannibalism, right? In which we want to swallow our fellow citizens in a allegoric way, right? We develop a company and we pay them so little, or we develop this artificial intelligence that we want to swallow our comrades, but then the dream of each one of these people is to eventually become the same. Not to change the society. He doesn't want to change things. He just wants to become this person that is swallowing all the other people, right? He wants to become this man. And he's dreaming to have this model here in a miniature. Let me say this. Let me put this here, right? So he doesn't want to modify the system. He just wants to become the person that he in this moment he hates or she hates, right? So we perpetuate the problem. But of course,
Yeah.
this is controversial. You can say, no, that has a flaw, that has a mistake in the articulation or in the logic. Could be. That's why it's so important to discuss it with young people, with fresh minds, with brilliant people that have their own ideas, right? I'm not trying to say this is the absolute truth with my younger brothers, with my friends, with my students, with no. This is just an idea. What do you think of this, Mickey?
Mm, well, I agree with this idea. That's why all people wants to be in a better, in a better job, um, in a better situation. Always we want um, to improve, and talking about money, it is not the exception. So yeah, obviously, I think that all people wants to obviously have their company or have a better income, and and yeah, I agree with this idea. I think that it's normal.
Right. However, you want to make a difference. I mean, people in general, they say, when I said, well, I'm going to start a language center, I wanted to make things different in a way. Some I have accomplished, some others I still have pending, some others I just gave up. I said, well, this is not going to happen. But many of them I have succeeded in implementing things, strategies, ideas that can help people become more fluent, more learning faster, etc., right? Different ideas. What do you want to innovate in, Mickey? Let's say, talking about your company, because now you're a young man, a young entrepreneur that has your own company, which is fantastic being that young. You're what, 21, 22,
22.
22. Imagine having a company at 22. you're in the group of I don't know if Bill Gates had his company at 22, but Elon Musk. I mean, very select, few selected people have started their own company at that young age. But I'm sure that you being as an idealistic man and a good-hearted man that wants the good for people, not only for you. What would you like to innovate in your company so that it eventually, maybe is not your idea, but maybe it is, that
Mhm.
you want to be exemplary, followed by other companies or young entrepreneurs as you are and other people? What would you like people to copy from you when in 20, 30, 50, 100 years they say, oh, Mickey had a company? Yeah, well, one of the things that we are imitating from him is this. What would that be?
Mm, well, it's something that I'm still working, and is the the service with the people.
The
Uh,
service. Okay.
as I mentioned in other classes, um, I really care and give a good service,
Okay.
and I try to put in the feet of the clients and understand their perspective to see more or less what is the things or the items that they are looking for, and trying to give the best service possible. Yeah, could be
Okay.
one.
The best service possible. That is fantastic. Now, talking about service, which is so wide, um, of course, there are some companies. This is being transparent with the client is just an amazing thing. Um, and that's very nice and motivating for the client. When the client feels that you are treating them with confidence, they absolutely stay with you. They say, well, I don't know what, but I'm going to remain with this company forever because he's treating me with transparency, with honesty. They feel um, respected when you tell them how things are, right? When you are honest and transparent. And I have seen people say, I am going to remain with this company, okay? Because he or she is very transparent, honest, and what else is a characteristic of a good entrepreneur?
Mm,
And
probably creative, creative,
creative, right?
creative.
Creative, yeah, and gives the best solutions. Yeah, because sometimes they can ask you to do something. Hey, Mickey, can you uh, design, I don't know, a special pair of shoes or tennis shoes that have the logo of the of the Olympic Games or the United Nations or this or that, and maybe you don't have a motor. Well, yeah, but I need to ask for permission, and then you have to go long ways, right, to develop something which may seem difficult. Uh, how far do you go to meet the client's expectations?
Mm, well, I think that it's something that all all entrepreneurs must have, and is the creativity to solve the different problems that are in the way. I think that
Okay.
when you have this in mind, it is easier because in a way you are get used to have this type of situations, and at least for me, I know that I can learn something of every situation. Obviously, there are some situations where it's easier and others that not, but yeah, I think that it's important to have the creativity to solve the different problems or the different circumstances.
Okay, let me ask you something. What is the hardest request 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 that a client has asked you to fulfill that you could actually solve, because there will be some clients that tell you, hey Mickey, I want a pair of shoes that is number 14 or that is made of gold or made of silk or is the,
Hmm.
and you say no, that's absolutely impossible. I'm sorry, that cannot be solved. But which has been the one that they have asked you to do the the hardest request that you were able to solve, to actually solve, that you say, okay, here is answer, problem solved. It was difficult or lengthy or took me a long time, or it was expensive, or it was whatever, but you managed to fulfill the client's request. Mickey, do you remember, or you have a particular example that you could share?
Mm, well, in the with the sneakers, one time one client requested a model that it was a little bit difficult to get because the model was of 2018. So uh, he requested the last year. So this model has had 4 years that it was launched for the first time, and it was difficult because his size shoe it was a little bit difficult to get. It takes me more or less 3 weeks to get that pair. The price of that pair, I think that was 18,000 was the
Wow.
cost of the price of the sneaker, and I sell it to 25,000. So I got 7,000 profit, and it was something when I got the pair because it was a little bit difficult because I didn't know that if the price of an item overpass the $1,000, I think that in occasions the dueños can stop your package, and in occasions you need to pay something else, and I didn't know that. But fortunately, I have the lucky that it wasn't stopped, and it takes their normal way to arrive here in my house, and yeah, I delivered to the client, and everything was perfect.
Wow, incredible, incredible. And so you sold it for 25,000.
Yeah.
Geez, that's, to me at least, that looks a bit pricey. Like 25,000 pesos for a pair of sneakers. Of course, what is the, what is it, what was that attracted the client so much for a pair of shoes or tennis shoes that cost 25,000? What can be so attractive in in a pair of shoes?
Uh, well, this is something that he told me that he wanted that sneaker because that sneaker nobody, at least here in Mexico, will have it. You know,
Oh, okay.
probably for the exclusivity.
Yeah, the feeling of being exclusive. That is a very interesting feeling, and people ambition that. And I think it's legit, it's legitimate to feel exclusive, to feel unique, right?
Hmm. Yeah, of course I wouldn't pay that for a pair of sneakers, but yeah, I have seen that in some clients. Actually, yesterday one client told me that she wanted a pair of Jordan one, but that she wanted something that nobody has, and it's like, oh my god, now everybody wants exclusivity for
Right,
the sneaker.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
And what's your plan? If I can ask, I know that you are in the process maybe of fixing that, but what do you do when somebody asks you for a, because you can tailor make every request, right? Like like a suit, you go to the tailor and say, Mr. Tailor, I want a suit that is unique for me. It has to be made of silk, or has to be made of wool. It needs to be white wool, white. There is no white wool, right? Well, beige, right? It must have a vest, the coat, the pants must be very, very exclusive, and this and that. Of course, the price is going to increase, right? But
Yeah.
then the next week, your brother Luis or your dad goes to the same tailor and says, "Hey, you made a fantastic suit for Mickey. I want one like him."
Mhm. Mhm.
So there will be another one who's going to copycat your design. What about that? What about that concept?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. Uh, it's a concept that I don't follow. I think that you can get exclusivity with other things, not only with expensive things. Um, for example, to this girl that asked me for that pair of Jordan one, I was searching for collaborations with designers in Jordan, and I think that in Kansas City is not necessary to pay a big quantity of money to get that feeling of of uniqueness or that feeling of being exclusive. And and I don't know, probably I'm wrong, but I don't think that it's something good to try to find exclusiveness with material things. I don't know.
Well, it's a good concept. It's a totally interesting concept, totally valid and very, very. I fully agree with you. But now let me ask you another question. And when I say I'm going to ask you, Mickey, for one thing is it's of course it's easy, but I ask the questions myself. Sometimes I say, why some people, why do some people, why do some people want to be unique, which is I think valid because we want to be unique. We are the unique, right? We are one possibility in millions of other possibilities, right? Maybe we
Yeah.
would have had millions of quasi twins, right? So we are one, the one that survived, right? The possibility of millions. So we are really unique, but then sometimes we want to be like someone else. And I
Yeah.
don't want to say that that is invalid because when I was a kid, I wanted to be like my father. I wanted to be like my uncle. I wanted to be a little bit like my some great teachers that I had in math. I wanted to be a little bit like him, like that, like great people that you admire. So I would say that both feelings are valid. Trying to
Hmm.
be like someone that you admire, but at
Hmm.
times you also want to be like your own brand, your own signature. What do you think about this concept, Mickey? Trying to be like someone and then trying to be like unique.
Yeah, I think that uh, I back to the work balance. For example, I have seen this that people wants to use and wear luxury clothing, luxury sneakers, because normally they are the things that they see in artists. Now that it's popular, the los corridos, for example,
Okay.
normally that people they wear and you listen in their songs, Balenciaga, Gucci, Dolce and Gabbana, and in a way they want to imitate them, and I don't think that it is necessary to imitate a person completely. Obviously, there will be some things that are good that you can copy, and if you can improve it to you and adapt to you, to your way of thinking, to your way of acting too, I think that that will be a solution. But in occasions, I have seen people do that they want to imitate complete to other person completely, and I don't think that it's
Right.
something good because you lose your, how can I say, as you mentioned, your signature, what you are really.
Individuality.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
But
Very, very, very,
well,
very interesting. And then,
it's
okay, yes, yes, Mickey,
yeah,
continue, continue, please.
yeah. Well, that it is difficult, and more with people of my age and younger than me is where I have seen these cases in more occasions.
Well, believe
Probably
it or
with.
not, but I have seen people like in my age bracket, which is the age of your dad,
Hmm.
and they also want to be like someone else. They want to wear the clothes similar to that person or that person. They want to go to this place or to this restaurant because they saw a friend or an artist or a very famous person or wealthy person. Um, Even the jargon they use, they want to say these words because they heard someone saying these words, exactly words,
Yeah.
exact words. So
Hmm.
I think we tend to imitate those that we admire in a way, because they are wealthy, because they are talented, because they are handsome or beautiful, because she is very pretty. The the woman wants to wear, oh, I want to wear a dress like that because that's the dress that this famous artist was wearing in that party. So we want to imitate someone, and it's so varied and so ample, so wide, why the things that we like and that we use and wear and buy and etc. So I think it has a very strong impact in people, and that will probably take us to one of the books that we discussed, that is the this book written by Bourdieu. What's the name?
Mm,
Remember that the taste, the
yeah,
taste, the taste in society, right? The taste in society by Bourdieu. Bourdieu. It's Pierre Bourdieu. Pierre, Pierre.
sociology of taste.
Society. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the book, right? The
Hmm.
Society of Taste. That's the name of the book.
Yeah. So sociology of taste.
Sociology of Taste. Sociology of Taste. Okay, thank you, Mickey. Yeah, this is the book written by Bourdieu. It's a great book, and he analyzes many of the, and that will probably give you a wider vision in your business and help you grow not only as a businessman but also as a person. That, I mean, you are growing a lot, but it can give you a wider perspective of how he analyzes society and the taste of people, why people like this music, why people like those clothes, why people like that food, etc.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it is so interesting because um, I think that normally our likes are influenced by our context, our family, the school that we went, and the people that we admire. And yeah, it is so interesting how mm, I think that in a way we want to be part of something, and that's why we want to imitate, or that's why we want to use a specific pair and a specific clothing, listen to a specific type of music. In occasion, I think that it's influenced that we want to by the reason that we want to be part of a group or of something. I don't know.
Yeah, that is very true. This concept of belonging is very strong, and it gives you a sense of tranquility in a way. For example, if somebody tells you, Mickey, you don't go to school, right? No, of course I go. Oh, really? What school you go to? Oh, I go to Instituto. Ah, okay. So you get recognition and you feel comfort because then you say, oh, I also went to Instituto. Or I have a friend there. Or, oh, I know where that is located. It's in Irapuato. Or
Hmm.
people say,
Hmm.
well, I didn't go to that school, but I wanted to go to that school or whatever. But that gives you like a solid base where you can establish yourself and say, I am here, and be quiet, tranquil, and respite with freedom, right? You say, I am here because this is my context. What do you think
Hmm.
about that idea, Mickey?
Yeah, of course. I think that that gives us, as you mentioned, a sense of, how do you say, tranquility.
Tranquility, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, because at the end we're part of something, and and probably that is influenced by the fact that we are social humans, that we normally wants to uh, socialize with other people, with uh, and when you feel part of something or of a group of people, well, you can feel like this feeling of tranquility.
Right. Probably is one of the strongest feelings, both socially speaking, culturally speaking, and in business as well. When you feel that you are part of that. Oh, yeah, I went to that school. To this day, I'm 57, and to I say to family and friends, yeah, I went to Instituto Lux, a school of the Jesuits, and then I relate. I say the Pope is Jesuit, and this, oh, the Ibero-American is Jesuit, and this
Hmm.
and that, and that gives me a feeling of I position myself, right.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I'm not saying I am better than him or I am worse than him. I'm not saying I'm better or worse. I'm just saying I am here. I studied with the Jesuits, and that gives me a feeling of pride. I am proud that I went to a school like that. And to this, even if it was high school, to this day I mention it, and that gives me like a security. And maybe people look for that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that it's true. But in occasions, I think that people use that to feel like better than others. And I'm not saying that is your case, of course, but
No,
I
no,
have
no.
seen that in young people that, for example, they are from other schools. I don't know, El Tec, or and they will have like a feeling of how to say superior.
Superiority.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is related that people, for example, that wants to. There are people that don't have the money to normally do the expenses of 25,000 pesos boots or something like that. And in occasion, I think that people wants to be part of a group that mm, I don't know if it is correct to say in that way, but that they don't belong. And I think that that's where start the problems. Then when they want to be part of something that at the moment they are not. I don't know.
Okay, well, incredibly, incredibly interesting as usual. Maybe we can grab this book one of these days and
Yeah.
go through it.
Yes, sure. Of
What do you
course.
think? All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Well, tomorrow is what? Tomorrow's Wednesday. Maybe we
Wednesday.
can yeah, we could work in the morning. What do you think?
Yes, sure. At what time? And sorry
I
for
think
yesterday.
no, no, no. Don't worry. That happens. Don't worry.
It
Don't
was the
worry.
first time in years. Seriously.
No, no problem. I mean, if you talk about the number of times, don't remind me. Let's see. How about maybe 8:30 or 9? How about that? Probably 9 the latest, but I'll try to make it at 8:30 if it's all right.
Yes, sure. It's perfect.
Well, okay, Mickey. Well,
Thank you
it's
very
pleasure.
much.
No, you're welcome. Take care and see you tomorrow then. Enjoy. Say hello to
You
the
too, teacher.
family. See you tomorrow.
You too. Take care.
Take
Enjoy
care.